Hi guys, this is Teacher Abby. Okay, and I will have a long talk with you today. Okay, until last week, we learned about Korea and its Korean culture. And today, what country do you want to learn? Okay, now I will talk about one of the biggest country in the world. It is located in North America. Can you guess what is it? Okay, so there are so many races, mixed races in it. Okay, but it has no pure lineage. When you say pure lineage, is walang pinagmulan. Okay, and then nowadays, the president is Trump. Okay, so that will be our topic. Okay, and then the topic is all about America. So our next discussion will talk about America. Okay, before we talk about America, okay, we will look at the map first. Okay, here is the map. Okay, so here's the map. And then here's the North America. Okay, so it's a big country. Okay, of course, is it America or England that we will have to talk first? So what do you think? Okay, so of course we have to talk about which is commonly known as United Kingdom. So what is United Kingdom? When you shorten it, we call it UK. Okay, but it is formerly called England. So kilala nyo na yan, diba? Yung England, kilalang kilala, pero UK siya. So, formerly known as England. So, kilala siya dati as England, but now as UK. Okay, followed by the biggest island, which is known as the Great Britain, or the Great British. Okay, so that is followed by. On which continent is the UK located? So, what do you think? Where is the UK located? Okay, so, yes, it is located in... So, it's located in Europe, right? Correct. So, it's in Europe. So, the left island nation in Western Europe, okay, is left. Okay, left and Western is the England. And then, on the lower part of it is known as the Netherlands. So, Netherlands is also known as, okay, Holland. Okay? On the lower part of France, Spain also took a big role or big place. Okay? Portugal is also located in the Spain. So, mostly it's a continent of Europe. Okay? And then now, the countries that we look for on this map, okay, are the countries that make colonies in North America and then South America. Okay? If you look at the map of the North and South America in the 16th century, you can see that it is represented by British, okay, Portuguese, Spanish, and French colonies. Okay? The United States was not a British colony. Okay, remember, it was not a British colony. That's why I told you before, it doesn't have a pure lineage or walang eksaktong pinagmulan. So, but it was the beginning of United States, okay? That people from England settled to the North America. So, from England to North America. Okay, William Bradford. So, remember the name, William Bradford, who lived in England. Okay, the story begins at William Bradford. William Bradford was a Puritan. Remember the name, Puritan. Do you know Puritans? Puritans is an English Protestant. Or you can know, they are known also as Christian Protestants. Who wanted the Church of England purified. So, gusto nilang malinis. So, malinis siya, banal. Okay? Of everything borrowed from the Catholic Church. Purified of everything borrowed from the Catholic Church, including the candles, the altar, the images, the priests, and prayer books. But unlike other Puritans, William Bradford and his friends given up hope that the Church of England would be purified. So, nag-give up na sila. Nag-give up sila na makakagawa pa ba sila ng banal na church? So, yun yung nararamdaman nila that time. So, they separated or humiwalay sila. They separated from English church and held their own services, and other Englishmen called separatist. From the word separate or hiwalay. So, they were known as separatists. King James remember that time, the ruler is King James. So, they forced separatists, William Bradford and the friends, to pay high taxes. So, mataas yung tax nila. He told the separatists that they could not use the church buildings. So, ganun kakorap yung pag-iisip ni King James. So, they should pay high taxes and they could not use the church buildings. And then the friends should meet in the barns and stables. So, sa kwadra ng kabayo, yung stables, and then sa barn, yun yung kamalig. William knew that the king's soldier would take an opportunity to arrest and jail them. So, aarestuhin sila. Nararamdaman na nila na aarestuhin sila one day. And then, so, he and the separatists, they decided to leave. So, umalis sila. To leave England and go to a country where they could worship God freely. Where they could worship God freely with their own freedom. Where would they go? Where do you think would they go? It was known as Netherlands before, and now it's, yes, that's right, it's Holland. Now we call the Holland Netherlands. So, Netherlands before, now Holland. It is between the England and France. It is a very close land. So, this is the England, and then this is the Netherlands or the Holland. So, close lang sila. So, dun sila pumunta. The homeland or yung tinubuang bayan nila of the Dutch welcomed the Protestants. And since Holland was so close to England, so the journey was not really long. So, it was short journey only. William Bradford and the other separatists packed their belongings, so they went their family, so they went by a tiny wooden ship and sailed across the sea to Holland. So pumunta sila sa Holland. They settled down in a small Dutch town called Leiden. So remember the word Leiden. Here, the separatists, so they're known as separatists because they separate, from the church in England. So they're known as the separatists, which is William Bradford and the friends. So the separatists were free to meet together at the church in the Holland. They didn't have to pay extra taxes or worry about being arrested. So wala na silang pangamba. Kaya malaya sila doon. After that, Bradford married Dorothy, the young Dorothy. And then together they had a son named John. But in Leiden, little John Ford and the other separatists learned, to speak Dutch. Dutch. They played with Dutch friends, learned to wear wooden shoes and skates on ice skates and icy canals. They began to forget English and their separatist beliefs. So, yung paniniwala nila about God na nababawasan na, nahiwalay na. As well, William Bradford later wrote, some of the children were drawn away from their parents. So, napapalayo na sila sa parents nila. And then, became soldiers and others ran away from the sea. So, nag-escapo na sila in short. So, maraming mga worst case scenarios na nangyari doon. And furthermore, they're away from their fathers. So, from the family. So, malaki na yung mga pinagbago ng pamilya ng time na yun. Dahil nawala na yung paniniwala nila sa Diyos. Okay? William Bradford and the separatists wanted, the separatist father wanted to take their families on the country. Why? Because they want their children to be raised as known to worship God. Okay? And then they want to be as a good English separatist who can worship God freely without paying high taxes and being scared of being arrested. So where could they go? Okay, what do you think? What about North America? Okay, North America. So it is said that they said to each other that the English people settled in a place known as Jamestown. Okay, Jamestown. Before it's Leyden and now in Jamestown. Okay. Are free to do as they please. If we travel to North America, we could establish our own colony. A place where every citizen obey God. So that is in Jamestown. The journey to North America. Okay, North America was a long, dangerous place. Actually, this is North America. Okay, so it's a long, dangerous place. Okay, it's a journey. But how many? 50 separatists went along with them. The leaders traveled back England and went to visit English merchants. Okay, so the English merchants. So they have a different meetings again because they travel in a different road. Okay, as well they share. Okay, so this goes like this. Supply us money to buy a boat and a food, and we'll share you with you all the golds and jewels find in our homeland. Okay, so it was said by the separatist. The separatists promised. Okay, several merchants agreed to pay for the ship and supplies, but on one condition. So they have to have that one condition. Okay, the separatists, met the other settlers o yung mga naninirahan. We call them as settlers, okay? For the first time as they all boarded their new ship. So their new ship is known as Mayflower. They called these new colonists strangers. Okay, new strangers. And separatists call themselves as saints. Okay, but William Bradford used another name. He called the whole group of settlers pilgrims. He called the new settlers as pilgrims. So, group of settlers. Christian on a holy quest to build a colony or yung lupang sinakop. So, they have to build a new colony where God would be worshipped. New colony where God would be worshipped. Today, we often borrow Bradford's name and call the whole group settlers. So, William Bradford, the settlers, and then strangers and saints. Alike with the pilgrims. So, they are known as saints, pilgrims, and then strangers. The Mayflower sailed from, the Mayflower, right? Their ships, their ship. So it sailed from England in 1620, okay? William and Dorothy, remember, they're the married English separatists. So William and Dorothy were aboard, but they left Little John for the safety, for his safety purposes, okay? So he would be safe. They knew that the new colony would be perilous. I mean, say perilous, it's very dangerous. So they left the son in that place. After many cold and miserable days in the sea, the Mayflowers sighted and land. So they successfully land. Okay, successfully land ahead. The pilgrim had arrived at their new home. So they're known as now as pilgrim. Okay. And then, but before leaving the ship, the pilgrims sat down together and they have to set law. Okay, set laws for their new colony yung lupang sinasakop nila. Kailangan nila ng batas. Kailangan naman talaga yun kasi para magkaroon ng unity so they can have a unified nation. Okay, so they have to set laws for their new colony. They wanted to be sure both the strangers, okay, the strangers, remember, the strangers are the new colonists, okay, and then the saint is the settlers, or the separatists, okay, and then they have to, okay, they have to make a pact. The strangers and the saints would follow a same rule. This Mayflower Compact, so they call it Mayflower Compact, or the agreement or the treaty. Mayflower Compact said that all colonies must agree together before a law could be passed, and that once law were passed, each colony would obey all the submission and obedience. So ganun naman din sa atin, 'di ba? So bago ipasa ang isang batas, kailangan muna magsang-ayon ang lahat, so both parties. So ganun ang ginawa nila. So almost every man have to put or don the Mayflower. So the flower name is Mayflower. So they have to put on. Then they signed now the treaty. Okay, they signed the treaty or the compact. And then the elected separatist now is known as John Carver as their governor. So John Carver as their governor. At first, Bradford and the others went out exploring. So they have to explore things because it's a new set of rules and new island, okay? Finally, they found the perfect place for the new colony. Okay, it was an Indian village. It was what? Okay, Indian village, okay. Indian village. So it was an Indian village deserted, okay, long several years before. So ito ay yung mga inaabandonang village ng Indian. Winter was coming, and the pilgrims had built houses and their families. The work was hard and slow because it's winter, right? Hindi tayo nakaka-experience ng winter, pero imagine the story. It's winter, so it's a long and long painstaking weather for them, and then feeling. Okay, the work was hard and slow. The food they had brought them from the England began to run off. So nauubos na yung mga pagkain nila kasi winter, mahirap magsaka. So it's hard to farm during that season time. They began to die. So isa-isa sila namamatay. They had this disease known as scurvy or lack of vitamin C. So bleeding gums. And then eventually, starvation. So taggutom na sa kanila. So yun ang mga nararanasan nila that time. But the Native Americans who live nearby, okay, take pity. So naawa sa kanila. They take pity as one of the newcomers. Masait, the chief of Wampanoag tribe from the Indian village, okay, was willing, okay, to be friendly with the English mans or the English people. So they make a treaty or a compact, again, agreement, okay, kasunduan, in which they swore or nangako sila to not hurt each other. They will not hurt each other. Will be in peace. They showed the pilgrims how to grow the crops, okay, and then in the new fields and other things that for survival, okay. One hot day, Governor John Carver was laboring, so nagtatrabaho siya in the cornfields when his head began to hurt. So that time, only a few days later, he died. And the colonies elected, who do you think they elected? Of course, William Bradford to be their new leader. Okay, and then he became the new leader of that time. And then William Bradford worked very hard as a new leader. And then it became successful. The colony o yung lupang sinasakupan niya ay naging matagumpay. He planted crops, yung mga kamote, lahat ng makakain. So he planted crops and bought food for English, okay, bought food for English and English fishing boats also. So he bought that one. And then it sailed across by and treated the Native Americans with friendship. So, maganda ang pagtrato na sa isa, may friendship agreement na sila. By the fall of Bradford's first year as a governor, the colony finally was beginning to prosper. So yung first year pa lang niya nagiging matagumpay na. Step by step na siyang nagiging successful. So they invited Native Americans. So Native Americans, which is the Indian. Okay, Native Americans, and have feast. This Thanksgiving feast is the first feast. Okay, Thanksgiving of that time. So it's the first pilgrims give thanks to God for their survival. So it's the first Thanksgiving. Soon, more Puritans would come to the New World. So the Puritans come to the New World. And then seeking for freedom in worshiping God. Because they have a strong faith to God. So they come to the New World seeking for a strong worship to God. Oh, and in their own way. Where is that? So it's in north. And then north of Plymouth, plantation. Okay, plantation is the farm. Okay, over 2,000 Puritans form a second Puritan. So almost 2,000 Puritans form a second Puritan. Okay, it is known, they settled in one place known as Massachusetts. Massachusetts is in America. Okay, so Massachusetts Bay Colony. Remember that, Massachusetts Bay Colony. Okay, today we talk about the birth of America. How do you call the first settlers of the New World? How do you call it again? Yes, of course. You call them first is the Puritans, the Pilgrims, the Strangers, the Saints, and yes, the Separatists. Okay, so they were called for various names, but they only have one goal. Okay, they only have one goal. It is to worship God freely, with freedom. Okay, so let me ask you, is your goal the same? You have to think about it. Okay, let's think it together, and then I will have a story again to tell you about Americans in our next meeting. Till then, see you. Bye-bye.